What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks here on Scores and Odds. If you haven't signed up for Scores and Odds yet, making bad life choices. It's that simple. I mean, we're just giving away free money. I absolutely crushed yesterday, as you can see here. 10-3 out on the show with 1-2. That one lost. 2 ones, one at plus 165, one at plus 130. Made about, let's see, 3.5K. Not a bad outing for being fresh off of food poisoning in the mountains. So I'm just going to toot my own horn there. No big deal. But yeah, we're up at 11.7K, 11.8K on the mud, sitting at 11.54 ROI. Pretty darn solid. So if you guys haven't already done so, again, sign up for Scores and Odds. Go over to scoresandodds.com/Discord and get in Grant's Action Lounge, where I'm dropping all of these picks every single day. So if you want to get the best possible lines on these picks, I drop them in as soon as I bet them, so you get those lines. If you wait for the show, you don't get these lines. Literally, if you are a $50 bettor, you're up 1.8K this month alone. You're up 2.6K last month, or not 280 bucks last month. Subscription's like $50 a month. I don't know. I can't remember the exact price. Or you can, I think, sign up for Prize Picks. I think that's a promotion. I don't know. If you sign up for that, I think you get 3 months of free Scores and Odds. We'll figure it out. But yeah, really simple. Sign up. I think this is going premium after this week. I don't know. At least Grant's Action Lounge might be. But yeah, this is the easiest way to make money. You don't even have to do any research. Just tune in every single day at 2 o'clock Eastern times, and I will give you winning picks. And even that son of a biscuit, Daniel, will give you winning picks. How you doing there, Daniel? I have to give you a little what's it called? A little thank you. Let's see what my bet was yesterday that you got me onto. You tried to talk me into SGA, but I was already on it. But look at Cat here. 25 plus points, 30 plus points, 35 plus points, 40 plus points at 18-1. Mr. Daniel Chevelson talked me onto that a little bit after lock, gave me a call, said, hey, Cat's going nuts. And guess what? He crushed the 40 points. He got, what, 50, 60? I think he got 60, right?
He put up a 60 burger. Yeah, it was pretty impressive for sure. I think that was the first 60 on the season for Cats. Somebody that's easy to root for. I believe it was like on the 2-year anniversary. He kind of wrote about it, 2-year anniversary, his mom getting sick. His entire family obviously has been they've dealt with a lot as far as COVID, and it's good to see. He's somebody that's easy to root for. I like Cat. I always want him shooting more like Cat shots over like Anthony Edwards shots all day, please. And he's starting to shoot more, and like just that's he's of course the matchup against San Antonio was prime as well, and. Yeah, I felt bad. I was thinking about it because I like if I like something, I like to write it up on Scores and Odds as well. I just kind of liked it. So it kind of hit me later in the day, and like a lot of those odds weren't up until like 5, 6, 7 o'clock, whatever it was. And I was doing the show. I was on Grinders Live, and I did talk him up yesterday in the Grinders Live show for what it's worth, but for DFS, and I did have him in some DFS lineups. But I think he was ruined by. I can't remember who ruined him. We cashed, we mid cashed. Who cares about that? And who cares about DFS in this show? We care about just bets. By the way, I do like my favorite thing, Grant, is when you say like 11.8K. It's like it's an $11,800. Like I don't know why my brain finds that amusing. You say 11. We're up 11.8.
I mean, I think of thousands of dollars the same way normal people think of $1. So you don't say 180 cents. You say $1.80 or $1.8.
All right. I mean, look, I should yield to you. You're the former accountant. You have the accountant's brain. I took an accounting class in college, and then I immediately changed my major. I was like, nope, we're not doing business anymore. Did not enjoy this at all. Debits and credits.
The wild thing was when I was an accountant, I was working with billions a lot of times.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, I worked on high net worth individuals. I mean, there are certain times where, like, okay, we can't e-file, so we have to send. I need you to send in this $500 million check. I'm just holding a $500 million check. I'm like, this is weird. Well, how do I do? How do I make
that world? I'm assuming you like this world much more than that world.
I like this world drastically more. At times it is more stressful, but overall it's actually less stressful than being an accountant. But yeah, no, like it was not a great time being an accountant. I mean, I enjoyed it for the most part for a while, but eventually, like as soon as I knew I was switching over to this, it just became a nightmare working as an accountant. Like just not fun at all. Just hated every moment of it because it's all not working towards anything. That's the real problem with the job. If you have a career where you have no desire to go into the future, like it's not working towards anything, you're not even getting applicable experience, it's just a nightmare.
Yeah. And there was a crossover period, right? Where I imagine you were playing DFS relatively hard and also being an accountant. And so you finally
I spent 6 months working 100-hour weeks every week.
Oof, man.
Yeah.
Were you crossing over? I mean, you're looking at DFS stuff while you're at accounting work?
Oh, yeah. No, like basically every single day they'd be like, wow, you're working a lot of hours because I would be there till 8 o'clock every night and get there at 8 in the morning. But I'd get there at 8 in the morning. I'd look at DFS stuff and then I'd work for 3 hours and then I'd do DFS stuff for 3 hours and then like I would work for an hour and then between 4 and 5 I'd be creating lineups and then work for 3 hours. So realistically, I was probably at the office for 12 hours a day, but not doing that much work.
You got to get those TPS reports done, man. Come on.
Yeah. No, it was not TPS. It was T&E reports, time and expense reports every day. And I'm like, why do I even care? I don't know. I was in the back of my mind, I thought, what if DFS goes badly? What if I lose all my money? Better not burn any bridges there. And I just wished now, I'm like, I wish I would just quit as soon as I cleared 150K. Like, it probably cost me staying at that job $70,000 just because I didn't have the time. Yeah, I had a boss that kept banging on my projects. But this is a gambling show. Let's get into some gambling. We got a 4-game slate. Starting out with the first one, Memphis, no Ja Morant. You know who's giving me a big bone. You know.
Well, just to clarify, as far as I know, he's not officially ruled out. He's doubtful. Yeah. So I know what you're saying, and the people probably know what you're saying as well, but there's a slim chance, it seems like, and he didn't participate in practice either. So it seems pretty unlikely he's going to go. But yeah. You like Desmond Bane? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, 20.5 points. He's hit this in 4 of the last 5 with Ja in there. Now no Ja. Should see an increase in usage. We don't have an exact sample size. I mean, obviously, most of the minutes that came without Ja on the court was back when Dylan Brooks was playing the majority of the time. We have a 30% usage, I think, for Triple J. We have a 28% usage for Bane, I think, and then like 30% usage for Brooks. So pretty much all 3 of them are eating up everything, but Bane is clearly the better player than Brooks. Brooks is still going to eat up some minutes, but only the second game from being back, so I expect him to only play about 25 minutes. I think Bane ends up playing mid-30s. Obviously, Tyus Jones leading into things. But it's a matchup going up against Indy, like one of the best on the board. Memphis has the second highest team total. It was the highest team total earlier today, but staying at 120.25. Bane at 21 or 20.5 points, minus 105 juice over on Bet Rivers. I love that bet. You got any thoughts on it?
Yeah, so it's weird. I like Bane. I like Brooks. I think he's going to play more minutes than you're suggesting. He played 26 in his very first game back. I wouldn't think he goes backwards on that. If anything, I could see him going forwards to like 28 to 30. And you know, if you fire up the old court IQ, we have. I'm going to do it right now. I did it earlier today. Let's kick off Ja Morant, and like it was Brooks and Triple J, like both right around 30%. I know you kind of rattled off some stuff. And did you do anything else as far as the court IQ? Or you just kicked off Ja Morant, right?
No, because I mean the entirety, like Bane's role has changed drastically throughout the season. Obviously, he's the number 2 option on this team offensively, whereas earlier on this season it was Triple J, and then when Ja went out, Triple J was the number 1 option, and then Ja came back and Bane slowly became the second option. So yeah, it's just all over the place. And I mean, Bane, like let's look with Ja off and Brooks off and how he's done recently, because that, like, I don't know. Let's see.
I guess what I'm saying is like Brooks is back, and Brooks, like, he's never met a shot he didn't like. And very first game back, he hasn't played for several months, 2 months and change. and he took 14 shots. He had 26% usage. Trying to get too much from immediately from one game, but Bane, his usage was 22% in that game for what it's worth. If you just take Morant off the court this season, Triple J at 30.7%, which is a strong number, and Brooks at 29.7%, strong number. Triple J jumping up over 5%. Bane up 1.4% for what it's worth. Like multiple guys benefit, obviously. Dylan Brooks, surprisingly, a slight hit. It's not 0.6%. I don't think it's a huge number as far as 434 minutes, 29.7% usage. I just think that I think Brooks probably plays close to 30 minutes. Long story short, by the way, I don't besmirch. I like Bane. It's a great matchup here against Indiana tonight, and I feel like we can meatloaf this. 2 out of 3 it, right? I think Bane, Triple J, and Brooks, 2 out of 3 of those are going to go above their number.
Yeah, I don't mind that. You can get Brooks over 18.5 over at -108 on FanDuel. That's not a bad line. Jackson sitting at 18.5. You can get it at -102 over at Maxim Bet. They will not let me bet there. But I'm more like, I think you can 2 out of 3 it. But I think the better option, the bet I currently have, is Tyus Jones over 24.5 PRA. I mean, we look at his numbers without Ja on the court. 15 points per 36, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. So sitting right at about, let's see, that's 15 plus 7, 22, 26 and a half. So I think that line's a little bit too low. I like Tyus over PRA just because he gets everything. What's his points total sitting at? Sitting at 14.5. Yeah, you're better off going with the PRA, I think. That's my preferred choice in this spot, is going with Bane and Tyus Jones. But if you want to take Brooks, I don't mind that. Triple J is probably my least favorite of the 3, although who's going to be able to stop him over on the other side? But yeah, my 2 main bets over on the Memphis side of things is Tyus Jones over 26.5 PRA and Bane over 20.5 points. And Eric Johnson, hey, Eric, in chat asking, do I worry about blowouts? I worry about blowouts betting overs more on the team that is, or I worry about them less on the team that's favored. So the fact that Memphis is favored, they're the ones that are likely to do the blowing out, is what I am more in on. But like if on the Indy side of things, like I'm slightly worried about blowout. I have the unders on Brissett, under 6.5 rebounds, under on Brissett, 18.5 PRA. Both of those that seem a little bit too high. He's been pretty up and down. He's missed it in 3 of the last 4. I mean, not a huge sample size, but he kind of seems lost in this offense and not really that applicable anymore. Had a 15-point outing in the last game, but 18.5 is probably a bit too high there. And his rebounds are probably going to take a hit going up against Triple J and Adams.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's kind of a cluster there with Indiana, and like trying to predict what's going on in their front court. It is super fluid. The absence of Turner. Gogo Batase is questionable for what it's worth as well. Like, that wouldn't help. It's not a huge deal, but obviously, ideally, you probably want Gogo to be available. We got him projected for 17 minutes. We got Brissett projected for 24. Why is Taylor not projected? Is Taylor hurt? Did I miss something?
I don't think so.
Didn't he start last game?
Why is he not showing up?
Taylor started on the 13th. Why are we not having him in projections? To my knowledge, he's available. And for what it's worth, he had some DNPs before that. So again, speaking to the volatility for Indiana, he went from DNP CD, which I'm pretty sure he was healthy, just not getting any burn. And all of a sudden they threw him, I think, in the starting lineup. We saw him when Indiana was desperate and they were without everybody, just get absolutely worked. He's not a center, but he was playing center just because he was the tallest guy available. I think it's probably just a good general idea to bet unders on those Indiana guys because there's so much volatility to their front court. It's just kind of a mess. It's their backcourt tonight we don't really know about. Duarte's questionable. Brogdon, of course, is questionable. And Stevenson questionable too. Like Batasi, the one big that's questionable, but yeah, I think it's weird we don't have Taylor projected for any minutes, that just seems odd to me. That might change. I would guess that changes, but maybe not. Maybe I missed something.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it depends on Goga. If Goga ends up going, so I'm guessing on our projections we have Yeah, we have Goga currently projected to play. So with him in there and with Jackson, I don't think that Taylor would get him in. So that's why we don't have him projected for anything.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking about hitting the under on Isaiah Jackson PRA. Sitting at 19.5. We currently like the under. You can get it minus 108 over on Bet Rivers / Barstool. FY, anytime I mention Bet Rivers, TwinSpire, Barstool all have the same lines as Bet Rivers. So yeah, no, like I don't hate the under there, but I mean, realistically, the Brissett lines and the Brissett unders and the Bain and Tyus Jones overs are the two ones that I really like in this spot. Do you have any other bets that you like, or should we move on to the next game?
I just wanted to point out, we talk about players being super handsy, and like this guy's kind of under the radar. You don't really not realize it, but like he doesn't get a lot of run. But like the few times I rostered him in DFS, he gets a ton of fouls. Isaiah Jackson, you mentioned him. He's really active. He's actually a really good fantasy player. He just doesn't get a ton of burn. 6.5 fouls per 36. He's a foul out. He's not going to play 36 minutes, But I just thought that was interesting that he fouls that much. Yeah, I like the overs in the Minnesota side, like you do. And
Memphis.
Triple J is like, it's a tough one. He's a hard one to gauge. He's the most volatile, the highest variance. Maybe he's interesting. I think there's some interesting thresholds to hit, for alt lines. I think one of those guys, at least one of those guys in Memphis, hits their alt line, and pays off on a nice with some positive odds, obviously. And yeah, I'm not. I didn't say anything too badly about your boy Bain, right? I like Bain, but I think Brooks just keeps chucking, and I think he gets a few extra minutes, so I like him too.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna hit Bain and Brooks. I think you're right. I think one of them goes off for a big game. I'm gonna hit both of them at 30 plus. Not like we get a ton on that, but $47 and $82 might as well.
47 is what they'll allow for you to get. Jeez.
On Brooks, I mean, they essentially let me. I don't know why FanDuel does this, but they let me win $500. So, like on any high odds stuff like that, it's whatever to win $500, and then on player props they'll let me win $500, which I'm happy about. So that's why my them and DK are both, and luckily Bet Rivers, I'm strangely enough down money because I lost a bunch of arbitrage situations. So my standard unit's $500 because that's pretty much what they will let me get on any given night.
I love these things. Luckily, you're down money, but I understand what you're saying. But yeah, it's just funny.
Well, yeah, I mean, so like I did arbitrage stuff in order to raise my limits on some stuff and then just get banned. I happened to get pretty much banned to oblivion on Barstool, MGM, the Score, because my arbitrage stuff hit there, but I lost like 13 grand, looks like, on Bet Rivers on arbitrage situations. So they will let me do pretty much whatever I want over there.
Yeah. Hey, you gave him 13 grand. All of a sudden you buy yourself some carte blanche.
Yeah, I'm heading down to Arizona, which is next month, which is nice because I can sign up for MGM there and get banned all over again.
Yeah, didn't BetMGM just say like they said like, well, we pinged you in a location you shouldn't have been in, and that's that, and like you couldn't fight it, and okay, you're like,
no, that was Caesars.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I have a big hatred for Caesars. Yeah, MGM.
Didn't you almost get the 8th level Caesars status? Is that something you were shooting for?
I did. I got 7 stars at Caesars, but they cut me off like I need 150,000 points. They cut me off at like the day I was supposed to get 7 stars, like 148,000. And luckily I was going to Vegas later that month, but I didn't get my free $500 dinner.
Is that a racket, you think? You think that's like something they automatically do? Like that's something they just say, oh, well, they just can't let them have it. That's interesting.
No,
it's just a coincidence.
I think it was a coincidence, but like the reason they said geolocation issues is because I was winning a ton of money. So like, oh, he hopped on 3 different devices over the course of 10 minutes, which phone, laptop number 2. Like we can use this to ban him. So yeah, but I can still play over in Arizona, so I'll be doing that.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? It is what it is. I mean, I cleared like 40K on Caesars over the course of 4 months, so
What is
it
the
is what it
famous
is.
Four Corners spot? Is it the New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado? You know what I'm talking about? Where you could step from one
Yeah,
state to the next.
Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah. I actually was there in December.
Can you play DFS and just jump? It feels like a wild place to try to play DFS or play to make some bets. I don't know how precise the GPS locations are, but yeah.
Well, the main thing is that Arizona and Colorado, the only two that are legal. Like once it's legal everywhere,
Yeah.
like I don't know if it'll show up like that, but it would be interesting to pretty much just you wouldn't be able to just go to the Four Corners spot and do it. You like, all right, I gotta walk 100 meters that way. Gotta walk 100 meters that way. Gotta walk 100 meters
Yeah.
that way. Yeah, Aaron's saying I think Caesar's is just William Hill with a different name now, and they're notorious for not letting people make money. They are notorious for just it's not so much not letting people make money. I never got limited on Caesars. They just shut me down. Like they don't limit you. They let you win money, and then they're like, "No, you did something wrong. You're out." And then they are notorious. I still haven't gotten my 20K that I had left in there. And I just tried to call them again today. They shut down their customer service line. Yeah, they are a nightmare of a company to deal with.
If you lose, they love you. JB Smooth is like, yeah, right this way.
Oh yeah, no, like they like even though I won money, they still take care of me because they don't. Their VIP rep doesn't see that I won a bunch of money. They're just like, oh, you have these many points. So I'm heading to Vegas for my bachelor party later on this month, and
what?
Like, yeah, and it's March Madness week, and didn't realize that, but. I mean, I got 4 room. Normally, a room for the 4 nights would be $1,500. I think I got 4 rooms for $400 total. So it paid off.
That's a good flex.
Yeah. And then so I'm going to spend a week down in Arizona too, just laying bet after bet after bet after bet, trying to get status again for next year because that's what I want to do.
Hey man, it's a living.
Yeah, let's move on to the next game. We got Brooklyn at Orlando. Not really a ton to love in this game. I think I hit KD over 28.5 points just before we hopped on there, and that's really all I like. I mean, Orlando's been one of the best defensive teams in the league since the All-Star break. Daniel mentioned that before the show. But KD, the shot volume has been a little bit up and down. It's always tough between him and Kyrie. My favorite, I generally, every single time they're on slate with a decent matchup, I generally bet both of them on over, but KD in 3 of the last 5 has had over 28.5. That's what the line's sitting at. Kyrie, a little bit more hit or miss, but definitely more upside. So it's not a bad idea to take the alt lines on either of them. Kyrie hit his over in 2 of the last 4. Like I like KD more in this spot here, and I took his over 28.5 points, but not anything else on this one, I don't think. Oh, something I forgot to mention on the last game. Steven Adams sitting at plus 110, under 1.5 turnovers over on Caesars.
Under how many turnovers?
1.5.
What's the line?
Plus 110 on the under.
Okay. And typically he doesn't turn the ball over more than once, I suppose. He doesn't handle the ball a lot, obviously. Not a ton.
Yeah.
A little more than you'd expect. Yeah.
I mean, 2, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 0. Like he's hitting the under at like a 58% clip. So, and recently he's been hitting it. He's hit it in 5 of the last 6. So yeah, I really like that bet. That's one of my favorite bets there. I think I wrote it up over on SAO. But yeah, on the Brooklyn game, I just like Kyrie or Durant's over of 28.5.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. You know, obviously he went nuts last game and Kyrie was in there, and that's, it's going to fall down a little bit as far as his usage, but it is a 2-man show. Worth noting that Curry is questionable. Like he was a late scratch, like late scratch, like after lock scratch, basically. I think something happened in warm-ups. I'm not really sure, but people were upset on a Sunday afternoon. Curry is still questionable. Cam Thomas, not that important, but he's questionable. Of course, LMA is out. You know what's weird? Orlando has already put out their starting lineup, which like you never see that. It's already out there. Like it's what you'd expect. Suggs is out. He's already ruled out. So Hampton's going to jump on a starting lineup. I think Carter's kind of interesting for points. I could see him having like what about closer to a ceiling game against this Brooklyn team that's pretty rough defensively. So I kind of like his over a little bit. I think I saw it at 17.5. What are we projecting for his points? I'm trying to pull it up now on the fly. What are we're projecting? 17-ish, like 17 and change. So basically on the number. I mean,
Suggs.
What's that?
It Suggs.
Or no,
you said Carter.
Yeah, Suggs is out. Yeah, Suggs is not playing, so RJ Hampton is gonna draw the start. I mean,
you can get it plus 115 over on Caesars at 17.5. I don't hate that.
I think that's pretty good. I kind of like that. I think it's more likely. I think the positive juice makes it pretty appealing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's saying it's 16.5 over on Bet Rivers at minus 134 on the over. I don't think that's great. I don't hate max and bet at minus 120 on 16.5, but I think the best line is 17.5 with heavy juice with plus 115 odds on the over.
Otherwise, I don't have a lot of takes here. You like Brooklyn?
We're moving on then.
Okay.
We are moving on. Detroit at Miami. Another one where I don't have a ton. I took Butler under 6.5 rebounds. Got it plus 100 over on Fox Bet. Still sitting at that if I remember correctly. Let's see if they moved it finally. They moved it big time. So that one's basically off the board. I got it plus 100. It's at minus 143 right now. So I dropped that in the Grant's Action Lounge earlier, and people must have hammered it over on Fox Bet as they should have, because that was
moved the needle.
I mean, on player props, it's not hard to move the needle. Like, I don't know. It's interesting how they handle things. I'm guessing the people who follow me in the Action Lounge are now deemed sharp bettors. So sites tend to move the needle more if you're a profitable bettor. I mean, I know I always get pissed at Jordan Davis, Smartwater. Shout out to Smartwater. He's over in Action Lounge chat. Me and him chat throughout the day. But anytime he bets, even if it's like they limited him to like $60, the line moves 5 points. I'm like, dude, if you're going to give me a bet over on FanDuel, let me bet it first. Because for some reason they don't move the line on me. But like he has like
VIP access.
Yeah, like unless the line's the same somewhere else, like let me bet it first. So Smartwater, smart guy.
It's a tricky thing with Detroit, obviously, because the Cunningham is questionable, and he's like their entire offense. And we talked about this one on off air. It's so wild how many minutes they've been playing him of late. Like they have nothing to play for. Maybe they're under the delusion that like Cunningham's got a shot at winning Rookie of the Year, and they want to give him like a late push. Played 44 minutes of regulation last game, and like 40 before that. Like the minutes have been crazy. Of course, the matchup against Miami is really, really poor. One of the best defensive teams in all of basketball. They're really, really good at subduing points in the paint. That's why I asked you before the show. We're talking about guys that would be interesting unders in Detroit that kind of live in the paint. And B. Stu is the one that I thought of. Like we don't have a line for him. He's coming back from injury. He was only out like a week or so with his knee, but I think he'd be an interesting under. But again, like he would probably get a slight little bump if Cunningham is out. I've not run that, and who really knows what the story is. But as a general thought, Detroit is not appealing, but I'd imagine also the lines like 19.5 points for Cunningham. I'll take, if you're going to tell me he's going to play 40 minutes against anybody, I'll take the over of 19.5 points. Right. But it's just sort of weird. Like, I don't know what to do with that. And like, why would Detroit keep playing him that many minutes? Like why? We had no answer. We couldn't really figure it out.
Why it got me convinced. I just bet Dylan Brooks maxed out over 18.5 points and maxed out the 25 plus points. So
yeah, man, he's gonna chuck it tonight.
Yeah, they let me get 158 on the 25 plus points. I'm not sad about
158 is the most they'll give you. Jeez.
I mean, it's saying at plus 330, 158 to win $520. So again, they'll let me win $520 roughly. So
what was the under you liked on Butler?
Under 6.5 rebounds. I think he's hit the under in 5 of his last 7 games. He's potential to blow out just a solid overall line, but it's saying at plus 100. It's not really. I got it plus 100 now. It's saying at minus 143, so it's moved to the point where I prefer the over to the under. Honestly, I might end up hitting the over. What was it at? Yeah, it's saying at plus 110 on the over. I honestly don't hate that. It's probably marginal EV. All right, that's anything else for Detroit, Miami? We're just
I don't really love this game. I mean, I think Miami wins it relatively handily. They have plenty of bodies now. Obviously, that they're the only one injured right now is Caleb Martin. Otherwise, everybody's good to go. As of this recording, at least, they don't play tomorrow. Did not play yesterday, so it's an island game. And I don't know, maybe Cunningham had himself a good night last night in South Beach. They talk about the South Beach flu, and he woke up ill. I don't know when they said he was ill, but I think Miami wins this game pretty handily. It's a big number, obviously.
Yeah. Just saw a bet that I might end up taking Mikal Bridges over 0.5 turnovers.
I don't know how to think of that off the top of my head.
Well, it's saying at minus 145. Let's see this. Gosh, I wish I.
That's a lot of juice delay. But he turns the ball over probably once a game at least, I would imagine.
I mean, looking at his game log, it looks about 60% of the games, which would make this a normal EV bet. But I don't know. I feel like that's a pretty solid overall line. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna put. I'm officially suggesting a full unit, so minus 145. I think 500 would pay 844. It looks like
you're betting the over on this. You're talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, for the record, he turns the ball over this year 0.8 times per game. Per 36 minutes, he turns it over 0.8 because he plays about 36 minutes per game. And you're gonna lay 145 juice?
Yeah.
You're okay with laying that much juice on something that, I mean, it probably happens, but all right.
So you have to think about it. 0.8 roughly, like there's a lot of games where it ends up with 2 or 3 turnovers, but 0.8 roughly translates to having a turnover in 65% of games. The break-even point at minus 145 is roughly 56%, 57%. So if you're saying there's over a 56, 57% chance of him getting a turnover, then it's a positive bet. So sitting at 62%, that's roughly a 10% ROI, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, like the juice is like you have to think of things in a break-even sense of things. I
hate laying that number. Like 145 is a big old number, and obviously you're betting on something that's highly variant, just one thing. But yeah, like at any moment, in any of those 36 minutes, it can go wrong. But I hear you.
Yeah, well, I mean, the main thing is Chris Paul being out. I know the campaign's taking a significant amount of stuff, but I assume that Bridges probably distributing a little bit more. Oh, man, this is an interesting bet. Isaiah Jackson over 0.5 assists sitting at plus 140.
I don't think that guy distributes the. Let's see. I'm curious now. I have his stuff pulled up per 36, 0.7 assists for the record. And he's never going to play 36 minutes.
Yeah, he's added 1 assist in the last 8 games. It's interesting, but I'm probably staying away from that.
Who was the guy you would always bet? Gobert, right? You bet Gobert over or under?
Yeah, over 0.5 assists. And a lot of times it wouldn't hit until, this is interesting. Devin Booker over 6.3. We're going to that game anyways. Phoenix, Devin Booker saying at over 6.5 assists, got plus 150 juice. That's silly. We have him projected for slightly under 6, but getting plus 150 juice just seems a little bit too low. So
the tricky thing is like campaign's just kind of playing the Chris Paul role, and he's getting all those assists. Booker's going to get some, obviously, but like, and again, I don't have the small sample stuff. And I was trying to find. It's so hard to find potential assists, like NBA.com. I don't know how you sort for stuff or try to find stuff or search stuff. It's not user friendly. It's just hard to find things. Maybe it's user error. I don't know. But I was looking for potential assists before the show as far as campaign and just Phoenix in general. in the absence of Paul the last so many games. But certainly the actual number is, Payne's been double digits in assists multiple games.
Yeah, no, he's been absolutely crushing it. And I mean, obviously a lot of those were without Butler, or without Booker, but he's taken a little bit of hit with Booker back in the offense, but I don't think it's been massive. Let's see, Booker's still been distributing the ball a decent amount. I mean, that team moves the ball around pretty often. Booker over the last 3 games, 10 assists, 7 assists, 9 assists. So getting that at plus 150, he's hit it in 3 games since coming back, all 3 of them. That just seems like a bad line there. I threw a unit on there. I mean, if you don't have Caesars, then you can find it at still pretty decent lines elsewhere. Plus 135 over on DraftKings, which I still like. I still think is a solid line. So it's where I hit it at. But yeah, over at Caesars, sitting at plus 150.
By the way, last 3 games, Booker's been back playing alongside Payne without Paul. Payne, 11 assists, 4 assists, and 10 assists for what it's worth. The game prior in Orlando, that was without both Paul and Booker, where he had 12 assists. But still, double-digit assists in 2 of the last 3 games, which did have Booker. Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get his line at I'm throwing that on the board. Payne plus 105 over 7.5 assists. I have to assume one of these two. One of these two, if not both, end up hitting.
I'm curious what we're projecting now. I'm looking for a project. I'm gonna bet we're projecting well over 7.5 assists. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like it's got to be like 8.5 or so, and it's not. Our projections are not there. Maybe it hasn't fully caught up.
I don't really understand it, but I mean, plus 105 and plus 150 for lines that Booker's hitting the last 3, Payne's hitting 3 of the last 4. Plus odds on both. I'm hitting that, and then I'm also hitting.
One of them's gonna get there. One of them gets there.
Yeah. So getting both at plus odds, I assume one of them gets there. I think there's a decent chance both of them get there. In the last game, both of them got there. 2 games ago, both of them got there. So this is not a bad matchup versus New Orleans. I mean, I am a little bit worried about the blowout, but it's only a 6-point spread, so that makes me feel a little bit better. I bet the over on Booker turnovers at plus or over 2.5 at plus 110. I bet the over on Booker points, 26.5. It's a pretty consistent one that I end up betting. I know he missed it the first game back. I think he's actually missed it 2 of the last 3. So 30, 22, 23. Yeah, he hit on the last one. But the shot volume's been there, 25, 18, 12. They need his offense here. It's a good matchup versus New Orleans, 116 implied team total. I like the over on Booker points, over on Booker assists, over on Booker turnovers. And then hit the over on Bridges turnovers, 0.5.
Hey, do you think anything happens here or maybe tomorrow night? Maybe I'm just looking ahead because Phoenix, at some point, they have to realize they're 8 games in front of everybody in the West, right? And tomorrow night they play Houston. Maybe something goofy happens tomorrow. Maybe they just like it's just they haven't rested guys basically all year long. They didn't rest Chris Paul all year long. I mean, it's like team philosophy essentially. But at some point, like they're 8 games up with like 14 games left. They're not going to get caught. Just throwing. I mean, maybe this is a conversation for a couple of days from now or even tomorrow. Like back-to-back, backhand of a back-to-back versus Houston. Like I could see them resting someone.
I hope they sit someone because I have all the overs in this game. I have 8 and over. 16.5 points. Was it 16? Yeah, 16.5 points. Like I have all the overs on the Phoenix side of things. They're all too low. So I mean, if Booker sits, then Campaign lock. Ayton lock. If Campaign sits, then Booker lock on both assists, turnovers, and points. And Ayton's probably a lock at 16.5. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Second and back-to-back so far out in first. But I have a lot of
like the front end. But it's back-to-back setup tonight and tomorrow. But yeah, it's just but the weird thing is they haven't done it all season, but it feels like they've kind of earned it,
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But I just think it's something worth monitoring.
All right, that's pretty much the end of the gambling portion of the show. Now we're talking about movies. We need to make a movie bet here. And I need to think of a movie for you to watch. Which are there any of the bets that you didn't like that much.
What did I think I agree with you mostly on everything. I'm trying to think if we had any discrepancies. I don't want to be the guy just kind of nods and smiles and just says, yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
I'll take the under on Jackson, Triple J points if you want, because I know you
that's
like
my least favorite one on Memphis, I think. But like, I also feel like he can like put up like 35 and 15. Like I think both are in play. I don't. It's not that I dislike Jackson. What else? Let me pull up do you have the board still posted? Yeah.
I'll take Wendell Carter under 17.5 points.
Okay, yeah, I'll stand by that. I'll take the over on Carter tonight. I still owe you a movie. I still have to watch. I've been staring at it a couple times, but I will. It's such a trek, and you got to clear the entire schedule. I got to watch the Lord of the Rings at some point, which is a sentence I never wanted to say in my life, but here we are. But yeah,
love the suggestions in chat. Frozen. Ernest goes to jail. First of all, I'm more of a fan of Ernest Scared Stupid.
I'm more of an Ernest go to camp kind of guy.
What?
Ernest Goes to Camp. I mean, I loved it when I was like 8. I'm sure it's terrible, and I was a big dummy at 8 years old. I didn't know it was good.
I'm trying to think. Oh gosh, I'm gonna give you an Arnold movie.
No. So okay, the qualifier is you have to actually like it. Like it at this point in your life. Like not that you liked it when you were 6 years old. Why are you so mean? Because I've been so nice to you, giving you.
Have you seen
movies.
Twins?
Yes.
Recall.
Yeah. I'm aware of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I know his work. I've seen Junior too. Don't even try it.
Oh, have you seen Last Action Hero?
Yeah. Do you like every Arnold movie? Like, so the rules is you have to actually have liked it.
Oh yeah.
And the other person
I don't like everyone. Like, I'm not gonna have you watch 6 Day. Like,
thank you.
Expendables was fine.
I've not seen that.
Have you seen True Lies?
Yeah. Like many years ago, but like I saw it.
Yeah, you've obviously
Tom
seen
Arnold,
Predator,
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, that's my favorite Arnold movie. I think is True Lies. Like, absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
I don't know if I have a favorite Arnold movie. I did watch. I don't was even a bet. I don't. What had me watching that terrible Christmas movie he was in with Sinbad?
Yeah, it was Cardi.
Oh
yeah, it's enjoyable. It's fun. I don't care what you say.
Again, I'm sure I would have liked if I was 7, but I'm not.
Let's see. What's another one of my favorite actors that you probably
give me something with like Philip Seymour Hoffman. Well, I've seen basically everything he's in.
Have you seen Free Guy yet?
I did see Free Guy. Did you like it?
I really liked it.
Okay, I didn't. I thought it was fine. I thought it was. I don't think I ever want to see it again. I thought it was perfectly fine. I like Ryan Reynolds, likable guy, likable fella.
I'm gonna make you watch something that I really enjoyed.
Why?
You're not going to enjoy.
Why do you like to be so cruel to me?
It's with Ryan Reynolds, Detective Pikachu.
Did he make this like in high school or something? What is Detective?
No, this was 3 years ago.
No, you don't like Detective Pikachu.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
What?
Wait, have you seen Kindergarten Cop?
Yeah, who's your daddy and what does he do?
Boys have a penis and girls have a vagina.
Ryan Reynolds he is Pikachu? It's a cartoon, I assume?
Detective Pikachu. Have you seen Waiting?
It's so funny. I was talking about Waiting the other night. Yeah, that's Ryan Reynolds, and that's Andy Milonakis, and it's Dane Cook, and it's Luis Guzman, and I know 4 people that are in Waiting right off the dome. Anna Faris, that's 5.
Yeah.
Waiting because I was a waiter for years.
What was the other guy? The main guy? I can never remember his name.
Cook.
Justin Long.
Oh yeah, I forgot about He's the Apple guy. He was in there too.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, and I think if you were a waiter, you'd really appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. There's a second one. There's a sequel. Not as good.
Yeah. Did not watch that. Do you have any ideas for me for a movie?
I like to bring it to the people. I'll probably bring it to Twitter, and maybe I'll throw out some. I'll kind of like throw out some ideas.
I'll give you one potential out if you haven't seen it before.
Okay.
Buried.
Oh, is that Ryan Reynolds? I've seen it before.
Okay. Well, so you're watching Detective Pikachu if you lose.
It's so funny. It's so I saw it like a month ago. Like it's all like in one. Well, I don't want to give anything away, but it's it's a tough watch actually. And
Yeah.
it's
What's the most stressful movie you've ever watched? I think mine is Righteous Gemstones. Not Righteous, Uncut Gems. Yeah, Uncut Gems.
Oh yeah, Uncut Gems. They did a really, really good job of making you get stressed. I saw it in the theater, and I was like stressed out watching it. The same guys, by the way, did a Good Time with not Colin Farrell, with Robert Pattinson. You ever see Good Time? Awesome movie. Awesome. It's maybe I'll give you that, and I'll be nice. That's very good. Good. We always talk about that one on Twitter the other day too. But that's so funny you mentioned that Ryan Reynolds movie. Like nobody saw. Like didn't make any money. He was buried. Is that what it's called?
Oh gosh, yeah. Actually, I'm going to give you one that I think you'll like if you haven't seen it before. I just can't remember what the name of it is. It was an older one.
What's older, like 90s or
Yeah, 90s. I don't think it was terribly popular.
Is the chat throwing in any suggestions? I'm happy to entertain any sort of anything that's thrown out. But again, I don't want to break the rules. I have to have liked it. If I didn't like it, I don't want to be mean and cruel like you are. You didn't really like Detective Pikachu. Like I don't believe you. I don't believe you genuinely like Detective Pikachu. You're a liar.
Okay. Yeah, I did, but I'm going to give you Finder's Fee.
Finder's Fee. I feel like I may have. What is that? I feel like that sounds familiar.
It's with Ryan Reynolds and Matthew Lillard, James Earl Jones. Crime drama follows Tepper, Eric, whatever. A young man who discovers you're watching Detective Pikachu. I tried.
Oh, no, I didn't. Because you know who directed Finder's Fee?
Who?
Jeff Probst. The dude from Survivor. He wrote and directed it. Yeah, it's about a poker game, right? And a lottery ticket. Yeah, about a lottery ticket and a poker game. Yeah, it's actually got a nice little. I don't want to give anything away, but it's fine. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I went in with no expectations. Like poker game, gambling, I'm in. And some of those movies are bad, some are just whatever. I thought it was fine. Like I wouldn't say it's incredible, and it's got a nice little. I don't want to say surprise. You remember the ending or no?
Yeah. No, it was.
It's good.
I really liked it.
It's fine.
Someone suggesting Eraser in chat. Is that the one?
I believe that's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, it's Arnold. I'm just trying to remember. Yep, that's the one with the railguns. Yeah, I enjoyed that movie, but I was enjoying everything. I don't know if it was actually good.
I like his bodybuilding movie from like the 70s or the 80s. What's the I can't remember. He's very it's kind of low. It's like a documentary. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I saw that years ago. Probably not. And I feel like it won some awards too.
Yeah.
With him and Lou Ferrigno talking about like the World's Strongest Man or something like that, or not the World's Strongest Man, just the bodybuilding competitions, I believe. But Arnold is like really loose and freewheeling in that movie. He's got some lines.
Hercules in New York. Never saw that one.
Why is he in New York?
I don't know. It was made Hercules in New York was made in 1969. I forgot how long he's been acting.
I think he did not speak in that movie. I think that was because I didn't realize he must have been like a baby in that. How old was he in Hercules in New York?
I mean, he's like 75 right now.
Yeah. But he must have been like 22, 23 or something in that movie. And then I'm pretty sure like the origins, like they didn't like the way he talked. Like his English wasn't great. Second language. Obviously, he's Austrian, I believe. Yeah. Incredible story, by the way, how this guy just like became one of the biggest stars in the entire world. Good for him.
And also became the governor of California.
Yeah. I mean, he's done a lot of things. He married a Kennedy, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And then there was a maid. We won't get into that. Hey, so you saw Boogie Nights. I assigned you Boogie Nights. I told you, I said, I was very disappointed. You told me how you watched it. You watched it in multiple parts, which bothered me. Like, just watch the movie. I think you said you fell asleep or something like that.
It was late, and I need to get. Yeah, it was late, and I had to get some sleep. But it was good. It was good.
Why fire it up if you know you're going to be falling asleep in an hour?
long story. I started it and got 1 minute, and my buddy's like, "Hey, you want to play some Fall Guy?" And so I stopped at 1 minute, and then afterwards, like, popped my sleeping pills. Maybe about an hour, 20 minutes in, I'm like, "This is a good stopping point. It's getting dark."
What was the scene that you stopped on? I remember you told me.
He was jacking it in the car.
Spoilers.
But yeah, no, it was a very good movie. And what were your thoughts on A Knight's Tale?
How well? I want to get more than that. Like, did you think? Like, I think that Boogie Nights is like incredibly shot. Like the opening scene, like an all one shot scene where they basically introduce you to all the characters are right there, and like they even have a tracking.
Kirkwood in chat. They used to call me Kirk Diggler.
Why do they call him Kirk Diggler? Now I have a follow-up question. I'm curious.
He used to lay some pipe.
Hey, we all have that one skill, what is it? One thing he's Dirk Diggler, John C. Reilly. Is there a better cast, man? Like Cheadle.
The cast was incredible.
Oh,
yeah. Don Cheadle, Burt Reynolds, what's her name?
Julianne Moore is Roller Girl.
Julianne Moore,
Graham. Yeah. I mean, Philip Seymour Hoffman as Scotty. How good was Scotty?
Yeah.
I love the team of like John C. Reilly and Wahlberg.
William H. Macy.
Oh, I mean, all my favorite actors. Cheadle.
Luis Guzman. I love Luis Guzman. Have you ever seen Count of Monte Cristo?
Yes. I did not read the book, which a lot of snobs will say you're supposed to read the book. It's like 1,000 pages long, at least.
Yeah, it's long. I tried. I started, and I'm like, no, I can't do it.
I had a friend of mine read the book and the movie sucks. The book takes 9 years. But like the movie is, for whatever reason, why did we stop talking about that movie? It's great.
It's absolutely fantastic.
I really, really liked it. It's not like my style, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm sure the book's fine, I guess. But Luis Guzman is what's the guy's name? What's the character's name? Oh, when he saves him on the beach. Guzman's never really stars in anything. Also in Waiting. He says just great to have in a movie. Always elevates a movie.
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. Love Luis Guzman.
Boogie Nights, and I say Boogie Nights is like one of the most rewatchable movies because like there's every time it's like, oh, that scene's incredible. I gotta watch the scene with the firecrackers. Like when they were, at the house when they shouldn't have been there, they're robbing. I don't want to give too much away, but the guy, in his underwear, Ricky Springfield. Do you know what I'm talking about or no?
I vaguely remember this.
Yeah. It's my favorite. Well, I won't say it's my favorite because people say everything's their favorite. It's legitimately like a top 5 movie for me all time. Boogie Nights, like on my board. I've probably seen it like at least 20 times. If you can't tell, I love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think it's about time we get out of here.
Yeah. I got a DFS show to do later. You have
Daniel.
What's up?
I don't have much of anything. I mean, I have very little to do the rest. I'm just gambling. Go to scoresandodds.com. I'm dropping a chat.
Tell them about Transaction Lounge because maybe they don't know. Like you mentioned it. Like, how do I get there?
Just go to scoresandodds.com/Discord, and it'll be the channel with a beer mug next to it. But yeah, I'm dropping every single pick that's on the show. I probably should grab the rest of them and throw them in there. I throw them in throughout the day, so everything I'm betting on, you can now bet on too. It's real simple. Like I throw everything in, I tell you what the odds are, what side it's on. I'm just telling you what I'm betting, and on this show, I haven't. It's so extensive trying to do the one in the Transaction Lounge, so I'm just adding up the ones that are in this show, and we're up $12K pretty much this month. And we're halfway through it. 11% margin.
That's pretty good. So, like if you can keep that consistency up, that's pretty awesome.
Oh, if I can, I kept that consistency up the first 4 months, and then January hit bad. But since then, I shoot for a 7% margin, so I was running just otherworldly hot the first few months of basketball season.
You won $300K or so last year. Like you couldn't have tanked in December, and right when the cutoff happens, then all of a sudden, then you start falling off. That did not work out for you, unfortunately.
Yeah. And luckily I cleared like 20K in DFS that month, so more than made up for it. But yeah, it is what it is. All right, Dean. Thanks for joining me. I don't know
Yeah,
who will be
thanks
on
for
with me
having me.
tomorrow.
What's up?
I'll figure it out. Probably should try and get some. I don't know who will be on with me tomorrow. We'll figure it
Oh,
out.
okay.
Maybe
I thought you were
who knows?
asking. I wasn't sure if you were asking me. I'm sorry. I tuned out for a second.
I'll let you know later tonight. But guys, it's been fun. Thanks for joining us. We're out of here. See you, kids.